Hi, I'm Ruli, and you're watching the 15th and final video of my playthrough of the Dragon Age DLC Awakening. To recap, this is Dirk, and Dirk recently helped his friend Justice make peace with the wife of the man whose body he's possessing. Yeah, that was a situation. Then Dirk went back to Vigil's Keep for a war council, which was interrupted with the news that the Darkspawn were attacking Amaranthine. So Dirk dashed off there to be met with the news that the city was almost certainly lost already. But then this talking Darkspawn came up saying that he was sent by the Architect to warn them that another army of Darkspawn was marching on Vigil's Keep. Everyone, but people with family in Amaranthine, urged him to burn the city and head to Vigil's Keep, but Dirk chose to save the survivors in Amaranthine instead, which he did. He then headed off to attack the Mother in the Dragonbone Wastes, which, as advertised, have dragon bones, and some of those dragon bones were inside a living dragon. The effective word being were, because we killed that dragon. And now we're going after the Mother. Let's get to it. Enemies. Yeah. Alright.
I'm glad to see that you are well, sister.
Oh, Serani. Oh, thank Mythal you're still alive. What has the Architect done to you? Why are you with him?
The Architect is kind to me, and tender, and he has told me his plan. The Darkspawn are just like us. The Architect has freed them, and they search for a place in this world, just like the Dalish are searching. Everything he's done to help his people. You can respect that, can't you, sister?
Velanna, tell me you don't buy this.
Serani, they killed our friends, and so many others. Don't you remember?
I do. And this is why I must help them. They are like children come into the world with no understanding of what is good and fair. They have a bestial nature, but I've seen them overcome it. They just need to be shown how.
All right. Then come with us, so you can tell others.
No, I have work to do. The Architect is waiting for me, and for you. He will explain everything. You will see, as I have seen.
No, don't go!
Oh. I don't know. Did she sound... She sound under a spell to you, because she sort of sounded under a spell to me. Yeah, it could be. But you had your own doubts. Yes, I did. But I'm not about to become a lover of that thing. Oh, that's a bit of an assumption you're making, isn't it? Well, maybe. You can't go that way, can you? Oh, apparently not. Alright then. If it attacks me, I'm killing it, that's all I'm saying. You gonna attack me? Because if so, I am killing you. That didn't do as much damage as I'd hoped. Right, as long as I'm out of combat, I'm not. Are you attacking me? Is that your plan? Do you think that's a good idea? Because you know what? Anyone attacks me, I kill them! See, I'm treating them like children. I'm teaching them about consequences. Somehow I don't think that's how you treat your own child. I wonder how old they are. How long does it take to get them to reach this age? You know what? I should have used a bomb, shouldn't I? Well, now's your chance. Oh, he kicked me. Oh, come on. Oh, is it a puzzle? Tell me it's not a puzzle. The flesh pot. Will of the unyielding. That sounds like a thing. Does it? Hang on, just checking the stairs for loot. I think you got it all. Alright. Let's take a look. What are you putting there? Oh no, stuff I found around. Okay. Huh. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Here they come!
Wasn't there a ring or something anyway? Yeah. Hang on. Could only be Velanna's. Nah, not worth it. How are you doing with health poultices and lyrium potions, anyway? Better work that out before you get into the biggest fight of your life. Oh, I suppose. Mostly lesser health poultices. Oh, well, we're out of regular lyrium potions. Put a few potent. Let's see if she can take those. Probably run out of them fast. Hang on, what about the rest? Good. Almost is. I'm just looking. Oh, I hate this fleshy stuff. Have I mentioned I hate this fleshy stuff? You said it was comfortable. Yeah. What you think? I don't know, I feel... Oh, hello.
And so we meet again. No, Uther. That is not how this must begin. I owe you an apology, Commander. When last we met, I intended to explain myself. Fate, however, intervened.
You experimented on me.
I restrained you, only to prevent the misunderstanding that occurred with the rest of your order.
Yeah, the sort of misunderstanding that ends with a field of dead bodies. I get those sometimes.
I sent the Withered to ask for the Grey Warden's help. I should have anticipated that you might view our approach as an attack. I am rarely able to judge how your kind will react. It was most unfortunate.
Unfortunate? You took those men and bled them dry.
The Grey Wardens that were brought to me were already dead. I took their blood just as I took yours, because I had little choice. Things have not gone as I planned. I only ask that you hear me out. Should you still wish to slay me afterwards, you may try.
I always hear people out. Go on then.
My kind has ever been driven to seek out the old gods. This is our nature. When we find one, a blight is begun. Each time we attack your surface lands and you fight back until we are defeated.
All right.
To break the cycle, my brethren must be freed of their compulsion. For that, I need Grey Warden blood.
Why do you need Warden's blood?
In order to become what you are, you drink the blood of my kind. To transform. Similarly, we must transform. I have created a version of your joining that uses the blood of Grey Wardens. You take the taint into yourself. What we take is your resistance. That is how my brethren are freed. In your blood lies the key to their immunity against the call of the old gods.
The Wardens are supposed to stop the blight. We'll be retired and talking about the glory days in no time.
How do the Darkspawn change afterwards?
Once they are freed, the Darkspawn think for themselves. They speak, they act. Some, however, have reacted poorly. They are flawed and they rage against me. The Mother gathers them to stop me, as she seeks to stop you. I cannot defeat the Mother alone, and I cannot free the Darkspawn unless she is defeated. Our goals are the same.
Darkspawn or no, he has a good point. Do we really want to keep killing each other forever?
This is what my sister saw. An ally amongst the Darkspawn. This is an opportunity we cannot pass up.
Help me kill the Mother, and after it is done, I will leave to continue my work.
What is this Mother exactly?
My most flawed creation. Freedom drove her mad, and she has poisoned the minds of the others. She has influence with the ones who have not been freed, and she gathers them as an army. I do not seek to rule, my brethren. I only seek to release them from their chains.
And how did you become freed?
I was born as I am, an outsider amongst my kind. Why? I do not know. Why did some of your kind become Grey Wardens? Why do some possess magic? I have no answers.
Do the other Darkspawn... What if they don't want to be free?
And how would they know when the choice has been deprived of them? Without choice, there is only one path before them, and that leads to the Blight. I believe there is another way.
You had better not betray me. As long as you don't, you have an ally.
Hey, if playing with their newfound minds keeps the Darkspawn away from Orzammar, I'm happy.
This is the right thing to do. Sarani believed it, and I do too.
Thank you, Commander. I realize what a leap of faith this is for you. I hope that I prove worthy of your trust. The mother lies ahead, Warden. I cannot approach her physically.
No, of course not.
Her children protect her from my power. But when you reach her, I will do whatever I can to help you. You have my promise.
Alright, check here. Okay, what's this? You can summon a powerful inferno. Did you know that, Dirk? And you can blast a single target with fire. Well, that's good. Wait, where have you been keeping all these crystals? I don't know. Finding them around. Really? Really? There's one, for example. Right. Oh, that's the one that stuns all creatures in an area. Right. See what else is this way. Oh, nothing. If I die here, that child will never find me if he comes looking, or she. Well, don't die here. Suppose that's what you're here for, right? Right. Whoa, that one jumped. I hate these things. Oh, this is seriously uncomfortable. Just need to get this thing off me. Okay. Well, thanks, whoever did that. Oh, new outfit for Velanna? Oh, why not? Let's see. Vestments of Earthemiel. No, it's not as good. Nope. Was there any more? Nope. I thought there was. Come on. Make people sick waving back and forth like that. Alright, I guess I must have got it. So which do you hate more, this place or the deep roads? Ugh. I don't know, maybe this place. Okay, apparently we're stuck. Oh, you. Thanks, Nathaniel. Flesh pod. Oh. You might as well start using some poisons too. I suppose. Wait, what's that? There we are. Just gonna take a look, I suppose.
There are darkspawn near.
These things. Seriously. These things are nasty.
And we'll be merciful!
That's right! Strangely enough, apparently it is right. What you thinking about the architect? It could be a lie, but I am not denying an entire species a chance at... what's the word? Sentience? Sentience, alright. To choose for themselves, I suppose, is what I mean.
Darkspawn up ahead!
Well, let's see. Anything left on the stairs? No, I don't think so. It's that way. I don't know. Hey. Don't know how many crystals I have. Let's see. Nope, short one. Did I miss one? I assume if I go to the nest, I won't have a chance to come back. Alright, back and forth everyone. Looking most likely for a flesh pod, apparently. Get there? Don't think so. I used all the ones I found here. I don't know, Dirk. If it's hiding, it's hiding well. looking for everything you can find. There it is. See? Oh, you've little faith. Alright, you got me. Tell you what, a place called the Nest sounds like a good place to use explosives. You know, I might be glad I saved them until now. Let's see then. Right. This is power to heal allies. Speaking of, just make sure my allies are doing fine. Yeah, that's it. Right, allies, on we go. Hang on a second. Am I still... Oh, that's lovely. That's what you've been seeing in visions all this time. She's weirdly enough one of the more attractive of the mothers. Makes it worse. Right. I suppose she wants to talk. Oh, she wants to talk. I want to throw a bomb at her. But she's not doing anything. Alright, if she's not doing anything, I'm looking around. It's empty? Might be empty. I have a terrible feeling something's about to go horribly wrong, do you? I'll see you through it. Alright then.
Now the pieces fall into place. The Grey Warden comes, the instrument of the Father. Oh, and the Father, he is but a shadow. Oh, how my children protect me. How they love me.
It's nice.
I have told you many times, Mother. I am not the Father. I am simply the Architect.
It does not change what you are. You took away that beautiful music. Left us with nothing.
It was a mistake to free you.
Her tongue is white.
It has left you with madness. I am truly sorry.
The Architect intends to free the Darkspawn. I trust him.
Ah, but perhaps the Warden would like to hear how it was that the Father began the Blight. You want the source of the Archdemon? The one who brought all our kind to the surface? Here he is!
Well, paint me green and call me a turnip.
Afterwards, Ogling.
There it is, then. Unfortunate. I did find the old god, Athemiel, but I did not wish another blight. I attempted my joining ritual. My hope was that this would free all Darkspawn, unravel the curse from its source. Alas, I was unlucky.
Do you ever think about the repercussions of your actions?
Is it not the way of the Grey Wardens to do what must be done, in the name of combating the Blight? The Blight is a menace, both for your people and for mine. To end it requires sacrifice and risk.
And how lonely the Father was. How terrible to be the outcast, the outsider.
What's the line down her
He wishes
face?
the Darkspawn to be free, but
It's
what
like
he
her face
truly
was cut in
wants
half and
is
put back
to
together.
correct them.
However you feel about what I have done, the Mother is mad. She cannot be allowed to...
Begone, Shadow! You cannot harm the Mother any more than you already have. And
Good to
now
hear.
the hero is alone.
Not quite.
Oh, the Mother knows your ways. You will not let her be, no, not after what she's done. So it must end. It all must come crashing down!
Do you mean that literally? You better not mean that literally.
Perhaps we will hear the song again when we die. Oh, let it come. Let it come.
Glad we're in agreement. Oh, that's what the line at her face is. Right, naturally.
There are holes and die.
Right, I'm just going to throw an explosive at you. Right. I don't suppose I could do another one so quickly. Not yet. Alright. Alright. Then, how about...
May the gods grant me strength!
Oh, okay, that hurt. Alright, you know what? Oh, she's spitting. She is spitting at me.
I tire of this!
Need chance on another bomb. Let's just throw another bomb. Oh, come on. I'm stunned, hang on. Bomb! Don't know why I ran inside her to do that. That was a weird choice. Keep them stunned. You know what? Stabbity stab stab, that's what I say to you. Alright, what else do I have? What are my friends doing? Pretty well, actually. I think you don't need to worry about them. What's this? Alright. So did that do anything? What happened? Oh, whatever. Oh, there it is. You might want to heal. Oh, okay, this is fun. Oh. I would like to remind you all, she wanted this. Oh, Dirk, that's just right in her mouth. And I'm standing in a rain of fire. Right, let's get out of the rain, folks. Come on, Nathaniel. After the death of the mother, the remaining Darkspawn forces scattered and fled back into the deep roads. The raids on Amaranthine came to an abrupt end. The architect apparently kept his word, gathering his remaining disciples to follow the rest of their kind back underground. Those Grey Wardens in other nations were appalled to hear of the architect's continued existence, but were unable to track him down despite years of effort. Some within the Order have claimed that the architect's survival guarantees another blight, and yet the deep roads have lately been quieter than any can recall. Most have resignedly decided that it is now in the Maker's hands. Word of the Grey Warden's heroic salvation of Amaranthine spread like wildfire. When the magnitude of the losses at Vigil's Keep came to light, sympathy drove generous donations from all over Ferelden into the region's coffers. Amaranthine was restored into her former glory within a year, Vigil's Keep in 5. Because of the Warden's support for law and order in Amaranthine, Constable Aiden and his men were able to distribute the smugglers' goods to the battered survivors in the grueling days that followed the Darkspawn defeat. The Darkspawn messenger, set free after joining the Wardens in the Battle of Amaranthine, struck out on his own. The city soon buzzed with stories of a cloaked but lisping figure who aided travelers in danger. At the same time, reports of isolated cases of the Darkspawn disease emerged. No one connected the two. The Arling's peasants suffered greatly during the war, and suffered yet worse in the years that followed. Success at the first riot at Vigil's Keep emboldened them, and thus other risings followed, often put down with brutality. Although the war devastated many farms in the Arling, all agreed the loss would have been greater without soldiers for protection. The farmholders developed a certain reverence for the Warden commander, as well as an ongoing reliance on the Grey Wardens for order and protection. Vigil's Keep stood alone against a horde of Darkspawn. The Mother's forces outnumbered the Vigil's defenders many times over. But the sturdy dwarven walls proved impervious to any boulder an ogre could throw. The Vigil's soldiers, clad in silverite, each felled a dozen Darkspawn before they died. The Vigil held one night, then 2, then a week, and eventually the attacking horde broke upon her walls. The keep developed an almost mythic reputation, with few survivors immortalized in song and legend. Peace allowed the Wardens to replenish their numbers. Soon Vigil's Keep bore a capable army with Wardens at its core. From their ranks emerged new heroes to challenge threats to Amaranthine and Olaf Ferelden. Through taxes and levies, the Vigil was rebuilt. Years later, Voldrik Glavenek stood on the battlements and pronounced that the defenses were acceptable. He would never speak more highly of any human engineering. Dark whispers of a conspiracy against the Wardens fell silent after a rash of accidents and disappearances culminated in the apparent suicide of Ban Esmerel. The nobles of Amaranthine remained dutiful. Some even suggest they were cowed into submission. Among the many legends that the Vigil spawned was one of the great heroes of the next age, a sheepherder turned soldier by the name of Sir Alec the Valiant, who eventually founded an order of knights that lasted 1,000 years. The commander's blade, Vigilance, crafted from the bones of an ancient dragon, was boldly stolen by Antivan crows. The blade changed hands many times thereafter, with some master swordsmen pursuing the weapon their entire lives. Some claim that this legendary blade has had a life of its own, and that its power is steadily growing. What? Wait, what? Dirk. Dworkin Glavenik further refined his lyrium sand explosives, but left the Warden's employ after Canary mercenaries tried to assassinate him. Although the Dwarven bombardier took his secrets with him, the learned say he left clues for others to follow in his footsteps. The Vigil soldiers, wearing the distinctive silverite armor that Master Wade crafted, came to be known as the Silver Order. Under the tutelage of the Wardens, the Silver Order developed into one of Ferelden's most revered military forces, a lasting memory of the Vigil's famous commander. With Velanna and the Architect gone from the region, the Pilgrim's Path began to see traffic again. The massacre of the militiamen and the merchants, however, led to hostilities between the neighboring human settlements and any Dalish clans that passed by. One human villager soon kidnapped and murdered a Dalish child. Clans reacted by giving the Wending Wood a wide berth, but both sides knew that at some point the elves will return for vengeance. A few years after Kal Haral was emptied of Darkspawn, Orzammar began sending expeditions to recover the knowledge of smithing that had been lost within the Taig. Eventually, House Helmi decided that Kal Haral was too important to be abandoned. At a tremendous cost of Dwarven lives, they cleared the tunnels leading to Kal Haral of all Darkspawn, making the road between Orzammar and the fortress safe again. Kal Haral was reclaimed for Orzammar once and for all. As promised, Voldrik and Dworkin presented Orzammar's Shaperit with a stone marker that told of how Kal Haral's Castellus had taken up arms against the Darkspawn. The commander of the Grey was invited to Orzammar as a guest of honor at a feast commemorating the defenders of Kal Haral. A Shaper read the names of the Castellus off the marker, then presided over a ceremony to return them to the stone, as befitted warriors of their stature. In time, the Arling began to forget the tales of the apparitions in the Black Marsh, and ever so slowly, settlers drifted into the region. Scholars say that the veil was still thin, and thus the area still dangerous, but the people only cared that there were no longer frightened whispers in the shadows. The village was slowly rebuilt. Twice the Baroness's mansion was rebuilt and occupied, once by a wealthy merchant, and another time by an Orlesian mage. Both died mysteriously. Afterwards, the mansion was torn down completely and the site left untouched. The survivors of the siege at Vigil's Keep hailed Anders and his magic for holding back hundreds of the assaulting Darkspawn. In the ensuing victory of celebration, the men dragged the mage to the fire to engage him in a drinking contest. Anders lost. Anders remained with the Grey Wardens a few years longer, training the Order's next generation of mages. But when the Circle Tower called on him to deliver a lecture in the nature of the architect, much to the Templars' dismay, Anders told the commander of the Grey that his time with the Wardens was over. And yet, not 2 months later, Anders returned to the Order. Ever after, the Wardens were his home and his lasting companions. Velanna never saw her clan again, but neither did she forsake her Dalish culture, nor her sharp tongue, nor her quick temper. After several years in the Grey Wardens, Velanna disappeared one day. Most surmise that she left for the Deep Roads to resume the search for her sister, but no one knows for sure. Over the next years, Nathaniel dedicated himself to the Order and to clearing the blemishes on his family's name. After saving Terran Fergus Cousland from a bandit attack, a portion of Amaranthine was returned to the House. Nathaniel passed the holding to Delilah's son, and when a new castle was eventually built there, a statue of Nathaniel was erected in its courtyard. Justice fought valiantly at the battle for Vigil's Keep, but before the victory horn sounded, a Darkspawn sword removed Kristoff's head. It was, of course, unclear whether the spirit of justice perished or simply departed. At the least, Kristoff's wife, Aura, was finally able to claim her husband's ashes. It was Sigrun who led the charge against the Darkspawn when Vigil's Keep was attacked. Once again, she had an army behind her, and once again they fought Darkspawn with no hope of survival. This time, Sigrun did not flee. Ogren continued to regale young Warden recruits with tales of his prowess in both battle and bed. His drinking games prompted at least one recruit to declare that she'd rather reattempt the joining than lift another mug. At the Warden commander's urging, Ogren took a more active role in his child's life. He visited Felsi often and wrote letters, which the Warden commander graciously proofread nearly every week. As for the savior of Ferelden, he did not remain as commander of the Grey for long. The Darkspawn were no longer any real concern, the blight well and truly over. It was time for him to move on. Some years later, the savior of Ferelden vanished entirely. Nobody knows for what purpose he departed, yet neither does anyone think his tale is complete.
Flemeth once told me that temptation lies in the forbidden.
Strathbone! What a good boy. Oh, I miss
Do
Strathbone.
not follow me, I said. Harder words I have never spoken. Some doors should never be reopened.
Right, so our scouts saw a woman here. Do you think it's Morgan? We'll find her, I promise.
You have reached the Noobs in Gameland hotline. Please leave a message after the beep. Beep!
Oh, that was the longest beep ever.
Well, he's still alive. We made it.
Yes!
This is very similar to being the parent of a son, right?
I suppose, except
you get to the end of the adventure and they're still alive, and you're like, I did it.
except that I'm deliberately sending him to fight dragons and other horrific monsters. Which
Listen, you're a proud military mom. Let's just spin it the right way, right? Proud military mom.
Proud military mom. I was thinking about the name that we gave this. For this, we called it the Recalcitrant Warden, which, was because originally my idea was for a much more roguish kind of rogue. I was thinking like a thief, someone who'd had to survive on the streets, much more morally pragmatic. But then that got ruined from, like, the very beginning of his origin story when they gave him this loving, supportive, very moral father and cousin and community. And they were sincerely and humbly religious, and I just couldn't imagine the personality I'd invented growing up in that environment and not having a pretty strong moral code.
Yeah.
So So Dirk ended up still very practical and still willing to break rules when he thinks it's for a good reason, but definitely a moral and responsible person. I guess I really couldn't call him recalcitrant at this point. Oh well.
He definitely would have been more recalcitrant if Duncan had told him what was entailed in becoming a warden, and hey, you can you'll never really be a part of your community or any community again except this one. All these outcasts.
True. Yeah, the odds of him trying to run away before they ever reached Ostagar would have improved dramatically.
Yep.
If he had known.
Well, and I think too, Dirk took on like a life and a personality of his own. Like he's who he is, and we're just there like kind of witnessing it and semi-enabling him to succeed. But that's how I feel about it. Like he's Dirk.
Yeah. And some of it, of course, is shaped by the options that you're given. Like,
True.
Completely free to have him do anything. I'm sure there were other choices he would have made at different points. But yeah, I liked how it turned out, because I did have a pretty clear idea of him from the beginning. I put a lot of thought into it before starting. But yeah, it did develop as he was interacting with people, making choices.
Yeah, Dirk is pretty interesting character. And I thought it was really funny when he like immediately fell for Morgan, and we're all like, no, don't do that. This is a bad choice.
Well,
and he's just like, I don't care, I love her.
She is my gem. Yes. Well, and to be fair, I mean, he has been true to that and through many, many difficulties. So
that's true. That's true.
Yes. Yeah. I think maybe that has something to do with the way I built him in the beginning. I wanted to give him a bit of a rebel, but then his rebellious nature is somewhat suppressed because of his very supportive upbringing. But he sees that rebellious nature in her, and it's very attractive to him, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And she can hold her own, so it's not like he has to defend her all the time, which, I mean, some people take relish in saving everyone and being the, you saved us all. I think Dirk is kind of just, okay, great, let's move on.
Right, yes, well, and he did find himself thinking, boy, if she'd been the one in the wedding at the beginning and the nobles came and tried to kidnap her, that would have been a very different story, wouldn't it?
Yes, for sure, it would have. Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah. Morgan is a little scary, and I think he was like, oh, I've never met someone who could scare me before. That's exciting. New and exciting.
He did find that exciting, which is very different from me. I don't look for somebody scary myself, but apparently he does.
Yes, I mean, if you think about it, he's sort of an adventure junkie, like adrenaline junkie, like, oh, this is cool. I mean, I could do this. And then he was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to try. And he did it. And he's like, yes, I did it. Okay, what's the next thrill? Like,
I suppose he doesn't think of himself that way. He thinks of himself as seriously annoyed that he has to go through all this. It's like, oh, again, nobody else wants to do this. Ugh, fine, I will.
Yeah, but the very fact that he thinks that way about like life-threatening quests and adventures, I mean, obviously he's got something else going on that the average person wouldn't have.
Yeah, I suppose.
I would be like, yeah, I'm going to be over here playing video games. You go save the world. Good job.
He definitely has some small man syndrome going on, which is
very Reaper cheap.
I could be, yeah. Now that I think of it. My idea for him was that he's very male. He is a man to the core of his being, but as an elf, he's short and he's slim and he can't grow facial hair. So he's
in a world of humans.
Right. He's
Canary.
That when he's hanging out with humans, anyone who sees him from a distance, well, he could look like a child or a woman, and that bothers him. He never talks about it because it's like showing people where you're weak, and he doesn't want to do that, but it does bother him. So he keeps his hair short on purpose. He's deliberately avoiding the stereotypical androgynous elf look. As a kindness to him, I gave him the most masculine face I possibly could, considering I couldn't give him facial hair, but I gave him this strong jaw and, chin and big nose, thick neck, as thick as it would let me, so that to try to help him out, so anybody who at least gets close enough to see his face can see, yes, this is a man. This is not a child.
Right, and over seen in these adventures, all these people are like, hey, this guy has killed an archdemon. I think I will attack him with my short sword. And
that's how video games go.
I feel like he looks threatening enough that I personally would be like, yeah, that seems like a bad life choice to me, personally.
He walks up splattered in blood, armed and armored, with his friends also splattered in blood. Yeah. I would not attack him, even if he was shorter than me.
Look at all the blood in this guy's mustache. I mean, yeah, for real.
He's definitely a couple inches shorter than Morgan. She called him little man once, and he took it from her because it was Morgan, but it stung. It would have made it that much harder if anybody else had said it.
She knows where it hurts.
Well, and that was towards the beginning of the relationship. I think she hasn't said that for a long time, but ooh, that stung. Oh, poor guy. Well, speaking of Morgan, though, we are moving on. Our hope is to find Morgan in the next few videos. It should only be a couple videos for this next DLC, so
hooray!
Yay! Oh, looking forward to this.